I am P. Sanjota, lecturer in English, ASD Government Degree College for Women, Kakinada. I am going to discuss on CSS1 topic, that is listening skills. Now let's know the importance of listening. Generally, we spend more time on listening than on speaking. Hence, it is said that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. When does listening actually happen? It happens when the sound or message reaches our brain and immediately our brain starts acting further, questioning and interpreting. So, listening is a conscious activity and not an involuntary process like our breathing. Listening comes first of the 4 skills in communication. It initiates the path for the other 3 skills, which are speaking, reading, and writing. The more we listen, the more we try to speak. The other word we generally use for listening is hearing. We should know that all hearing is not listening. We should not equate hearing with listening. Let's know the difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is a physiological process. It is accidental and requires no effort. We are surrounded by sounds most of the time. We are accustomed to the sounds of fans, cars, hawkers, and so on. We don't focus on them. We just hear them and ignore those sounds. Listening, on the other hand, is purposeful and focused rather than accidental. Hence, it requires effort. Listening is active, focused, concentrated attention for the purpose of understanding and interpreting the message. The process of listening can be said to have 5 stages, starting with receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and finally responding. Let us know some details about each of these stages. Receiving. It is the primary tool involved in the first step of listening. Receiving is the intentional focus on hearing a speaker's message. We filter out other sources so that we can isolate the message and avoid the confusing mixture of incoming stimuli. Understanding. In the understanding stage, we attempt to learn the meaning of the message, which is not always easy. The listener's perception, experiences, etc. influence the understanding. And then the next stage is remembering. In this stage, when what has been heard or received has been understood, is also important to know that we can improve our memory of a message by processing it meaningfully. That is, by applying it in ways that are meaningful to us. Then the next stage is evaluating. In this listening process, judging the value of the message takes place. We might be thinking this makes sense, or conversely, this is very odd. Because everyone has biases and perspectives based on diverse sets of life experiences, evaluations of the same message can vary widely from one listener to another. The last stage is responding. Responding is sometimes referred to as feedback. It's the stage at which we indicate our involvement. It could be either oral or non-verbal. Not all response occurs at the end of the message. As the speaker delivers the message, a listener signals his or her involvement with focused attention. Feedback is given at the end of the communication. These are the 5 stages of listening process. Good listening is an essential and important skill in all the spheres of life. The importance of listening and the benefits from it are directly proportional to the cultivation of this skill. Listening is important because it prevents miscommunication, can make a message more clearly understood, and can help reduce the amount of frustration for the speaker. In the field of education or academics, good listeners become better learners. There are different types of listening. Let us see some positive types of listening which are to be developed. The ease of listening depends on the purpose of listening. There are a number of purposes and functions of listening that one should understand to become an effective listener. First, active listening. An active listener engages with the speaker, while a passive listener simply receives the message without giving any external indications. Active listening has been shown to be more effective for retaining information and also makes a speaker feel more comfortable. Active listening can consist of both verbal and non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues such as nodding and eye contact show that you're interested and engaged in what the speaker is saying. Verbal cues can vary from repeating or summarizing parts of what is being said to asking appropriate follow-up questions to engage the speaker. Then next, the content listening. This listening helps to comprehend and retain information communicated by the speaker. Content listening is also known as informative listening. This includes skills such as understanding the meaning, key points, directions, and identifying the intention and attitude of the speaker. One listens to instructions, conversations, briefs, reports to acquire desired information. Critical listening. It is a two-layered process which involves observing the message and analyzing the ideas. It is about identifying the message and attempting an evaluation of the evidence or views to pass a critical judgment. Critical listening evaluates the speaker's credibility as well. Empathetic listening. It is used in times of crisis. The listener requires empathy from the speaker for helping him in getting relieved of his problems. This is also called relationship listening. The listener tries to understand the speaker's situation empathetically. It helps in strengthening the relationship between the listener and the speaker. Physicians, surgeons, counselors, psychiatrists use this type of listening in their profession. Then, appreciative listening. It is used for deriving pleasure and joyousness. The person listens to the matter that he appreciates. That is to understand the speaker's mindset, needs, tone, and mode to appreciate a point of view. This type of listening involves skills such as interpreting, visualizing, and understanding. These are some of the types of positive listening. Now, let's know the barriers to listening. As listeners, we all know that it is difficult to pay attention and listen with concentration for a long time. In general, we tend to listen things related to our interests, attitudes, and beliefs. So, normally, when we look around, we see many signs of ineffective listening. Some of the barriers to listening are physical barriers, physiological barriers, attitudinal or psychological barriers, and socio-cultural barriers. First, physical barriers. They are the mild hearing levels, sounds, mannerisms, moving objects, microphone dysfunctions with frequent interruptions can easily distract listeners. So, noise and distortions in sound levels are a major physical barrier. Then, physiological barriers. It is related to our health problems. Hunger, anger, sleep, headache, tensions, discomfort in the room temperatures, minor health upsets are all physiological barriers. Then, attitudinal or psychological barriers. Bias or prejudice becomes a barrier in listening. Attitudes are controlled by distinctive physical, mental, and emotional characteristics. Attitude plays a vital role in the process of communication and can hamper one's listening capabilities. The qualification, nationality, gender, status, age, dress, tone, etc. can be a barrier to listening. Socio-cultural barriers. These are which crop up from socio-cultural differences between the listener and the speaker. The language, different choice of words, the dialects, and the accents of the speaker make it difficult to listen. The message may be understood in the wrong way too. One should be careful while listening to a person from a different region or culture. These are some of the barriers to listening. A good listener has to get rid of all the distractions to have good communication with the speaker. Thank you.